running late. But today, I'm actually excited because I had a comment on the stream yesterday. And if you haven't been paying attention, on the first stream, we did a bit of reading of Principles of AI Agent and started building an agent for this skill that I'm calling SavePoint, which basically helps you prove code understanding, not just that the CI is green, but you actually understand what's happening in the code. So it'll look at a PR and ask you questions that you have to answer before the PR can get merged. Yesterday, we actually got it all working, commented on a PR, and then we left off right before the deployment step. But today we're going to do a bit of a detour because I got a comment. Someone wanted me to build an email triage agent without typing any code, or without doing any debugging, I guess. So the question is basically like, in a completely AI native manner, can I get this Mastra agent to connect to Arcade and also triage some emails? So without further ado, let's get started. And then the other thing is, someone asked me if I could just start by doing a little kind of news segment. So I think we're just going to do 5 minutes of checking out Hacker News, and then we'll get started. So what's going on in the world today? Wait, what? Using the railway network as a flatbed scanner? Wait, okay. What? Okay, that's crazy. Using the railway network as a flatbed scanner. Oh, wow. This is a really cool website, too. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, there's some wild stuff on the Amazon tax. Let's see. What is this about? Okay. Just seems like basically talking about paid search versus unpaid search. Fair enough. It's a hard world out there. Cursor launches Origin, GitHub alternative. Origin code hosting. So I saw this on X, or on Twitter, I should say. But I didn't actually see any use of it. Maybe today we can mess around with Cursor and see if we can get Origin to cook. Bring your GitHub repos, PRs. Okay. Yeah. What's this other article? Cloud agents start 3 times faster with build. Yeah, I think I'm going to use Cursor today, and then we'll see whether or not we want to use Origin. But part of this series is using a different agent every day, just so that I can see what's going on there, and I can speak intelligently about how these agents perform. So we use the Prime agent, used Vanilla Claude. Today we'll use Cursor. And probably use the Cursor model composer as well. Or actually, I guess now the Cursor model is Grok, so I'll be using Grok 4.6. Okay, I think that's enough news. Now, time for the agent. So I've quit 6 systems for tracking my illness. Oh, that sounds like okay, gotcha. Kind of a lifestyle thing. So the first is, let me go to my Gmail, and okay, so it looks like I do have emails, even though they're all kind of whack. This is probably a good place to start. And then, of course, as Sam Bagwat taught us in Principles Building AI Agents, before you build anything, the very first thing you're going to do is write down what you want this thing to do. So what would I want an email triage agent to do? Presumably, it's going to look at every email, have a prompt that tells it how to triage, and then do something. So We're going to look at every email. We're going to have a prompt that tells it how to triage. And then based off of that prompt, we're going to do something. So look at every email is pretty clear. Prompt, I think, is probably the place where we can dive in a bit. We can have maybe a P0, P1, and P2, and like spam. Trying to think if there's anything else. So P0, obviously it's just urgent, needs to be done right now. P1, hey, still important, but could be done tomorrow. P2, still important, but could be done this week. And then spam. Maybe I want to do a P3 for could be done this month. So P0, ASAP, P1 within 24 hours, P2 within 7 days, P3 is within 30 days, and then if something can wait more than 30 days, then I guess, well, actually, let me think about this. Should we have a P4 for more than 30 days? I think P3 is just like needs to be addressed, but doesn't need to be this week. But doesn't need to be this week. And then we'll just have spam for things that don't need to be addressed or aren't relevant, right? Do something. So what is this do something? The do something for me is also at what cadence do we want to look at every email. So let's just say we'll have a cron job that runs every 30 minutes. So every 30 minutes, we're going to look at all the new emails that came in the last 30-minute session. And then we're going to have a prompt that says, hey, you are my email triage assistant. Assign this email P0 label. Oh, maybe actually what we'll do, I was thinking, I wonder if we start with just labeling the emails. That might be a good place to start. Do something, and that could just be label/tag the emails. And that, I think that gives us a nice base to start from. Okay, so as a user, I want to check, or let's see. As a user or as an email address owner, I don't know. As an email address owner, I want to be able to know everything that is happening in my inbox without having to individually look at every message. And then one important thing here as well is this isn't necessarily a job to be done, but just this idea of if we miss one email, that's catastrophic, right? Because if it's an important email that we miss, it really doesn't matter. So we want the agent to, certainly in the beginning anyways, kind of over-index on relevance. Like, don't say something spam unless you're actually sure, right? Over index on relevance. So I want to know exactly what's happening in my inbox without having to individually look at every message. And then as an email address owner, I want messages to be automatically tagged P0 through P3 or spam. Okay. And I like literally, I think these are the only two jobs to be done at this point. Obviously, as we start building the agent, we're probably going to run into more stuff, but this is really, I think, the core of it. I'm going to fire up Cursor. And once again, the challenge here was to do all of this strictly with AI. So let's give this a shot with Cursor and see what happens. What's going on? Why can't I open up my Cursor? Here, let's just try quitting. Okay. Wait, am I just... Am I missing something? Where's my cursor? Huh. I think it might be because of my screen share settings. 1 second. Yeah, it was a screen share thing because now I see it. Okay, so now let's go ahead and share. Boom, boom, boom. I want you in my room. Let's spend this night together. And I think I want to go to this layout. This more swaggy. And then small is fine. I'm wondering if I could do a like circle. But this is okay. Okay. So we got this layout. Boom, boom, boom. I've got my cursor. Wait, is cursor not? It doesn't want to be screen shared? Interesting. Maybe I have to. Okay, there we go. I got it. So let's do a new agent, and we're going to do a new folder. And I'm going to call this email triage. Maybe I'll do Arcade Mastra email triage agent. And let's see, we are on Cursor Grok. Cursor Grok. Okay, cool. Let's check out Cursor Grok and put that joint on extra high, because why not? Okay, so the first thing I probably want to do is just make sure that we can connect to my Gmail via Arcade, and then making sure that we can actually add labels to emails via Arcade. And then we're going to implement the Mastra agent. So I think the thing that is most interesting to me is this idea of having an agent that can work side by side with me and then have memory using Mastra, but also have access to my tools using Arcade, right? So kind of bringing these two things together to create a beautiful beast. So you know what? Actually, I'm gonna do something different. Where let me go back to that Google Doc, and then I'm gonna boom, and then let's do something fun. I'm gonna say, oh, sorry, cursor just doesn't want to stay on the screen. What's going on, buddy? Okay, here we go. How would you build this? Let's do plan. Oh, I didn't tell it that it has to be with Arcade and Mastra. Okay, because I'm actually kind of curious how Grok 4.6 recommends going about this. And then I always forget I have my whisper flow because I'm recording, but I should probably take advantage of that. All right, so inspecting this repo, obviously the repo is empty. Pulling Arcade and Mastra docs. Let's see. Okay. Pull the exact plan. What's it trying to do? It's trying to fetch the scheduled workflows. You can do that. You can do that. I've become a fan of actually looking to approve or deny what the LLM is doing. I know this is like caveman behavior, but I've caught it doing stuff that I don't like it doing. So obviously it slows you down because you can't be just on auto mode firing it off. But I do think there's a lot of value to whatchamacallit, actually looking to see what your LLM is doing. So we know that right now it is looking at these docs and trying to synthesize how this would work. Okay, 2 choices chain this design. All right, so yeah, no, we just want the Gmail labels for now. Obviously, all of these are great, but let's just do the Gmail labels only for now. When a classifier marks something spam, what should happen? Yeah, we want to be conservative here. So yeah, leave the message in the inbox for now. Okay, so kind of interesting. I literally gave it a spec. Obviously, not like the most defined spec, but and also this there's this grill me skill. I would highly recommend if you're not using it, use the grill me with docs skill, and you can actually just grill with docs and get into a pretty good place. Okay, so now I'm ready for some files to come in. Let's see. Gmail scopes for modifying labels are straightforward. Okay. Gmail reserves the label spam. Okay, so maybe we can call it like ham. If spam is taken, we can call it not relevant. And also that's part of why it's cool to actually read the thought process, because then you avoid like it was about to get into some crazy shenanigans to be able to use the spam label even though Gmail occupies it. It's like, no, we can just tag it as not relevant. That's not the point of this project. Oh, did it stop? Continue. That was kind of funny. Okay. Write it up. What's going on here? I'm like in a doom loop. Maybe it's working and I just can't see. That could be a potential. Right. Are you building the plan? This is weird. It's like, yeah, I think I just interrupted it and it got confused. That's okay. So it's thinking now. Did I just break? Okay, cool. It's writing in. All right. Can I see the plan? This is funny. It's like I'm fighting the LLM. Okay. This is crazy. I think I might need to reset the loop. It's like legitimately stuck. How about we just do it here? That was kind of funny. Yeah, no, I'm not exactly sure what just happened there, but I think I just broke it. So let's just start it all over. And let's see what it's doing. So, first shot, whoever the viewer was that asked me to do this, you got me. But yeah, I think that was just a quirk of cursor. It looks like it's now back in business. And I'm going to let it get the context again. And it's thinking and it's thinking and it's thinking. Okay. Arcade dot. Ooh, sorry. Yeah. Seems reasonable. And now wants the master docs. Also seems quite reasonable. While this is running, I actually had an idea that the whatchamacallit, Grok 4.6 gave me, which is this idea of like being able to talk in natural language with your chat. Not necessarily that I want to do that, but an agent might very much want to do that. So that's like already I'm thinking an MCP server that allows an agent to query your email using natural language. Now that would be fun. Okay. The concrete DAG is now defined. Okay. Okay. Building a whole DAG for me. Shout out to Grok. I'm actually very curious. Concrete split. Mastra owns the 30-minute workflow and classification. Arcade owns the Gmail auth and labeling. I'll pin the domain language and the architecture and a canvas you can keep open. Okay. I'm here for it. Arcade owns Gmail auth and labeling. Yeah, we own it. Okay, so now we're editing context MD. It's kind of interesting how it doesn't show me oh, this is interesting, the cursor skills. Huh, okay. So context MD, the inbox owner's mailbox is classified, so every message carries exactly one priority or is marked not relevant without the inbox owner reading every message. So language, inbox owner, boom, message. Okay, so it just put together a bunch of whatever. Not really docs, but that's fine. Oh, wow. Canvas. Okay. So this is cool. This is cool. I like this. So it looks like cursor can give you kind of artifacts. Okay. Who does what? Okay, so the mailbox adapter is Arcade. We're going to cherry pick some Gmail tools. We don't need the full toolkit. That makes sense. And then the workflow and policy. So we're going to have a workflow with a cron job. We need a long-live host and a concurrent store such as libsql. Okay. Here are the tools that we plan on using. Who am I? List labels, create labels, search email, get email, etc. How to look at every email actually works. So each triage run does not reread the whole mailbox. It reads messages in the window that still had no triage label. Okay. Yeah. Okay, module seams, build sequence. This is what I was interested in. So first we're gonna build the Mastra app, add in the Arcade SDK, authorize Google once. And I'm gonna ask, can we do this with Arcade MCP? Because I'm more of an MCP guy myself. I do love me, obviously an SDK, but I'm just curious. Instead of using the SDK, could we use the MCP? The cursor gateway cannot write labels. Okay. Okay. All right, so there's a different Google account connected, but yeah. We ain't worried about that. Okay. Yes, the triage pipeline can run through instead of Arc, which MCP surface? Poof. Yeah, a dedicated MCP gateway. Huzzah! I wonder if the default way that the LLMs recommend you build stuff is going to change, because right now they do recommend SDKs, but I do wonder if we'll get to a place where it'll start recommending the MCP route. And I bet it will pretty soon. Okay, so now we're going to need a dedicated arcade gateway. I think, shout out to whoever gave me this challenge, because A, it's been pretty fun so far, and B, this has been pretty smooth. Like, I like the way that it's thinking about the project. Everything here, yeah, it just makes sense. I really have no beef with the way that Grok is going about this. So Obviously, going to make this a public repo that anyone can check out. So if you want to build your own email agent, just get in here, change up the prompt or change up your labels as you see fit, and connect your Gmail. Okay, Arcade MCP is the Gmail path. Yeah, sure, you can build as I read this. So Arcade's own master guide uses boom, 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 boom. Okay, it's throwing a little shade, which is fine. Arcade MCP gateway, human step in the dashboard. So it doesn't know that there are other MCP servers. So we, for example, have the manage MCP that you can use to create stuff. That's fine. We'll let it live. But there is definitely a solid flow that the LLM put out here. So Master Apps Talks MCP. Keep the workflow. Do not let the LLM paginate Gmail. Module seems, yeah, out of scope. Okay. I mean, this is pretty dope. I think I gave it a pretty simple task, obviously, which is just email, not even doing a triage where you have to send an email, but just this simple triage where it's labeling, because it can always come back and add on those features. But I just wanted to see, hey, what do the AI tools do when you ask them to build an agent using Master and Arcade? And pleasantly surprised. I think my only note is just I think it should default to the MCP setup, but it's a pretty small thing that I had to change, and it looks like we are going to be cooking. Mm-hmm. It's getting a lot of docs for this, and I'm not mad. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Now it's trying to do some stuff. Maybe I should blow this up. I don't know how hard or easy it is to read. Yeah, this is fine. Just trying to download Arcade Gmail. I think we're going to get this actually to add a label within, I don't know, 30 minutes. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. Let it go. Let it go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so let's see. Get email will take an email ID parameter. The Gmail tools port will boom. Fixing the get ignore to allow the env example. Package name is Arcade Mastra email triage agent. Triage will be stored as a single exported template string. Boom, boom, boom. The mailbox factory. I like how it's calling it a mailbox factory. Okay, shout out to Grok. MCP adapter will expose a Gmail port with methods like who am I? Okay. Existing labels will be included during classification to avoid confusion. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Wait, I think I just saw it's planning on using OpenAI. Let's see. The thinking here is actually really cool because in a lot of ways the thinking itself is kind of giving us like mini docs here, because if we look at the thinking we can basically see like how it's going about it. So that's pretty cool. Configuring the Mastra agent ID, classifier ID name, boom, 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 libsql, mailbox auth error. Okay. Library is 185 lines. I, this is like it's such a weird thing because if someone had asked you to build this like 5 years ago, this would have been a whole project. And now, just through the beauty of the hard work of the people at Mastra and the people at Arcade, through natural language, I can build a email assistant. And hopefully this one will actually like help me out because I have been getting drowned in emails lately. So I think something that helps me with the triage would be really nice. Okay. Off TS, where the good stuff happens. And also, just a quick side note, off TS is exactly why a product like Arcade exists. You don't want to be vibe coding the connection to your Gmail, right? You want to be able to trust that that's a secure connection. Nothing funky is going to happen. So that's why I am using Arcade, because Arcade has already figured out how I can connect securely to my tools and I can see exactly what the agent is doing with the tools. So I don't need to worry about my agent going rogue on my Gmail, right? It's only going to have these tools. Um, I think the tools were listed somewhere. Let's see, was it here? Yeah, so the only tools it has are going to be these tools. So even if it wanted to, it literally couldn't, for example, delete an email or send an email because that's not a tool that it has access to. So instead of just giving it the Gmail API and saying like, hey, I don't want you to send any emails and hoping that that works, I just strictly take away that tool and then I never have to worry about whether this agent is going to actually send an email or delete an email or do anything funky, right? The only things it can do is the things that are here. So the craziest thing it could maybe do is create some bad labels, but that's okay. It's not a destructive action. It's something that I can revert. It'll be fine. Um, it's when we start talking about, hey, this thing can send emails outside your org, etc., that those things you can't take back, right? Or even more aptly, think of something like a wire transfer, right? On GitHub, we have that revert where if you push something, let's see, make the wizard executable, that checks out. Um, yeah, so if you think about something like a wire transfer, right, there's no git revert for that. So if you have an agent that has access to sending money, you want to make sure that it is sending money correctly. Okay. So I think we're wrapping up here. It installed everything. And the beautiful thing is now that I've spent my tokens creating this template, and make it public, and anyone can use this template. So pretty cool. The beauty of the internet. All right. It's still cooking. It's being very thorough. Love to see it. One thing I didn't. Okay. Boom. We're ready to test. We are ready to test. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Master build. We love it. Okay, we've made it to the finish line. What time is it? It's 11:10, and I started, I believe, at 30, or was it 45? I don't remember, but to go from nothing to running that beautiful, beautiful Mastra build command, I like it. And then I'm probably going to have to stop sharing screen just to add in some environment variables here. But that's okay. Get those variables in, and then let's actually test out the agent. Okay. Excuse me. Wow. Okay. Okay. Mm. Okay, we got another test. Okay. NPM run setup arcade. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Okay, let me open up a terminal and then go into this demo and then follow its directions. Follow its directions. What's going on with my yeah. Okay, so ever wanted to focus on a block of lines without distraction or limit find to a single command output? Select lines and choose view zoom. Oh, okay. It's good to know. What did I call this? I called it Arcade Mastra. What did I call it? It was called there's Arcade-Mastra email triage, and it's in dot cursor. Okay, and then it gave me the command, which was forget exactly what the command was. What is it? npm run setup arcade. And let me blow this up. Okay. You drive the browser, this wizard tells you exactly what to do and captures the values you copy back. Wait, what is it trying to do to me? I'm not pasting any values here. Okay. Yeah, good try. But let's see what it wanted. So it wants arcade. I'm just gonna put in a dummy value. In the tool picker include, okay, so what it wants me to do is create a gateway. This is actually a great example of like why Arcade exists once again, because a LLM will just tell you to put your password in, right? It's like it thought that it was very reasonable to be like, hey, I'm going to spin up this app and then you're just going to copy and paste your info because, like, why wouldn't you, right? So great example of why you should be using something like Arcade, but it's giving me some good advice here, which is create a email triage gateway. So let's put this to the side and actually create this gateway. And let's go to my correct account. Okay. Cool. So now, remember that doc we started with? Feels like so long ago. Okay, so now I'm going to my Arcade dashboard and I will be creating a new gateway. So I'm going to go ahead and create an MCP gateway. We're going to call this email triage Arcade Mastra. Or actually, the Arcade part is a little redundant since I'm literally on Arcade. And then I want the Gmail of these tools. What did we say? We said, who am I? All right, let me make this bigger. Okay, so for Gmail, I want, sorry, who am I? I want list labels. List list label. Is list labels not a thing? Am I tripping? Let's see. Create label list. Oh, I just couldn't spell, I guess. I don't know. Search emails by query, get email, and then change email labels, and then change thread labels. And though I did do this here to show you, keep in mind that everything that you're seeing me do, you can also do via MCP. Arcade has a managed gateways MCP that you can use to do all of this stuff programmatically. But I wanted to show y'all how it works. Okay, so authentication, I want Arcade auth. And then boom, 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 guide my agent. It didn't give me a guide for the agent, so I wonder, actually, I'm going to go back and say, you didn't give me a guide for my agent, bro. How do I guide my agent? I have no idea. I need to fill out a guide my agent on MCP creation page. What should I put in? And obviously I'm doing this because part of the challenge was I should use AI for everything, but I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that it should just be like, hey, look at the emails, triage them. Why did it need to, I think this was a really shitty prompt by me. I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. We got there. LLM instructions. Okay, so now let's go back here. Boom. Advanced settings. Let's just take a look. Description for humans. Yeah. Arcade, Mastra, email agent. And then go ahead and create the MCP. And we've created that gateway. It literally gave us the instructions so we could install in Cursor. But our AI wants it to do it some other way. So let's see how this works. Okay, so boom. It's Thierry at breezedemare.io. OpenAI key. Okay, I'm also going to just put in a dummy thing. Okay, enable the schedule after Google off. Headers off is not. Okay, so that makes sense. Okay, so let's see. I did everything. The ENV values obviously aren't correct, so it's going to fail, but let's see what happens. Okay, I did the setup. Let's run it. I wonder if it's actually going to read out my my info, because you remember that I didn't actually put in my Arcade API key or the OpenAI key. Yeah, okay, it did. It did. All right, so I'm now gonna stop sharing my screen and drop in some creds. So let's see. Ba, 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 da. All right, grabbing that open AI key. I have to do the app thing. Okay. Do I have any credits? I do. Nice. So I can just grab a key. Call this Arcade Mastra email. And then I'm also going to need a key for my arcade stuff. So let me grab that. And then come on back. Bum ba-dum bum ba-dum bum. Okay. All right, so now I can share my screen again. Let's go back to sharing that screen. Okay. Boom. And then if I go back to Cursor, wait. What? Whoa, whoa, whoa. It just leaked all my stuff. Whoa. Okay, give me 1 second. Revoke. Go ahead and revoke. Mastra. Okay. Okay. And then I need to now grab you. And then I need to grab that other key. So call it Mastra. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, lesson for future Terry. Let's have the keys ready to roll so that we don't have to go through this part in the future. Okay, but now I've added everything and I can get back to sharing the screen. Okay. Share entire screen. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, we're back. So now go back into cursor and it is running. Let's see. Hey, we've got our triage classifier and Mastra Studio. Oh. So it looks like it's working. Let's see. Beautiful, beautiful. Always fun when you get to the UI part after you've been dealing with a bunch of text. Okay, I see this has a tool. Hey. So we've got the authorized Gmail, and then we have the triage classifier. Okay. That's cool. Okay. Who am I? And it should return the right user. Let's see. The moment of truth. Who am I? Okay, let's see. Who am I appears to have worked. Gmail's authorized. Let's go. Hey, yo, I don't want to go home. Man out. Okay. So uh, I can only assume that this will work, but let's actually run it. First run failed on Arcade's extra fields and tool output. Okay. A bit of a schema mismatch, eh? But I don't think that's a real issue. A bit of a nothing burger. Just a bit of a nothing burger. Okay. So is it hitting my email or not? Or not? Okay. List label succeeded. Create label failed. That's okay. So basically, it seems like right now the agent is trying to figure out the best way to get the MCP to talk to Mastra. And let's see. Yeah. I also, in retrospect, okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's working through the problem in what I would say is a pretty reasonable way. Let me check to see the email. Are we getting any labels? Doesn't look like we have gotten any labels. Doesn't look like it. Not quite yet. Memory not enabled yet, so that's probably like one of the things I'm looking forward to doing is adding memory to the email agent so that it actually knows who I am. And also that helps with the triage because then you can say, well, this was actually P1, but you put it in P0, or this was P3 and you put it in P1, vice versa. Okay. So it looks like it's just dealing with some classic race issue stuff. Arcade rejected create label because the MCP client treats extra Gmail fields as schema violations. Relax that and restart the server. And this is kind of what you'll end up running into when you try to combine deterministic and non-deterministic systems. So basically, Mastra is trying to enforce a certain schema. Why? Because if we just let the LLM do what it wants, the output is going to be outrageous. But there were these extra fields that were coming through that it didn't expect. So now it should figure out exactly how this create label thing works. We're going to try a 45-minute triage run and let's see if it cooks. Bada bing, bada boom. I wonder if the workflow is going to actually show it running. Schema fix worked. Okay, so there's a Gmail flow that needs to happen. Yep. Let's do the OAuth consent for Gmail. Bada bing, bada boom. And basically, I'm giving Arcade / Mastra, in this specific case, it's Arcade, access to my Gmail, authorization successful. Successful. Okay, so now, oh wow, the countdown was perfect. Mm-hmm. Okay, rerunning triage. Let's see. Wonder. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, okay. Huh. It's interesting. Yeah. Agent and create tools odd. It's a beautiful thing. Oh. It's kind of crazy, like all the thinking that it's doing. And maybe this is a skill issue with the prompt, but it probably could have just reran this, right? I think it's interesting that it felt the need to go do all of that checking. And now we're on this run. Bada bing, bada boom. And it looks like it's the first run that is not failing, so. Woohoo! Okay, let's go. The data is flowing. The data is flowing. Let's see. Classify, apply labels. Let's see if we actually see it in real time, actually, if I open up the email. We don't see anything quite yet. Okay, it's doing the classification, which makes sense. That's going to take a long time. Shout out to the Mastra UI, by the way. It's showing me the timeline, and also it shows me like exactly how long it took. It's nice. And then I wonder, okay, I can click on it and it literally shows me the data. Wow, this is great. I love this. So we can see, excuse me, you can see exactly what was in there, and in here are the emails, right? So it's classifying them bad boys. I guess the classification could take a while, but we'll stick around until it actually finishes. Maybe I should have told it to like limit the amount of emails or something. But it is also on a smaller model, so it shouldn't take too long. Something to add in the future might be like some kind of progress bar, so we know exactly how long it takes. But yeah, I mean, the process is obviously working. It is currently running this classify part. And we have here email triage agent with Mastra and Arcade. I will drop this repo in the Arcade AI cookbooks repo, and you can check it out. But for me, the takeaway is like excited to start building more stuff with Mastra and Arcade, you know? Oh, Gmail not authorized. Okay. So we got a issue where, wait, label search and classification succeeded? Let's see. Oh, wow. No, it did. It created the labels. It did not actually apply them because, like it said, it needed that other tool. So it's kind of interesting. Okay, perfect. Why did the workflow, well, that's something to debug another time. But what we have today is basically this agent that we built with Mastra and Arcade. It took a look at the inbox, it created these labels, added the labels, and what we had to do that was go to Arcade, create an MCP gateway. We created an email gateway. We gave it tools specific to that email triage. So we can actually take a look here and see the 7 out of 30 we picked. So it's change email labels, change threads, create label, get email. So nothing destructive and nothing with write permission. Then we got Mastra to be running the cron job as well as the workflow. And then we put them both together and we've got those labels. So next, I'd want to add things like memory. I'd want to add things like some kind of natural language way to talk with my email. I think there's a lot of fun possibilities here, right? So shout out to the person who asked for this stream. It was fun. See you guys tomorrow. Be back probably tomorrow. We'll do a little deploying of that app that I've been working on. And then we'll probably get back to doing some reading.